Who is Cobb Vanth? Before I get started, I'm trying to get up to 50 subscribers, so if you guys could subscribe, leave a like down below, comment as well, it would be much appreciated. Cobb Vanth. The Marshal of Mos Pelgo, a small town on Tatooine, Cobb Vanth has earned the trust of the townsfolk as a capable peacekeeper and leader. Vanth at one time was custodian of Boba Fett's Mandalorian armor, which he bought off of Jawa traders. So Cobb Vanth is a character who comes from the Aftermath novels in, the Star Wars books, and then obviously was revealed in live action for The Mandalorian. And he was once a slave, having a star-shaped mark carved on his back, a sign of ownership of the Red Key Raiders after the Empire. He freed Mos Pelgo from the Red Key Raiders and claimed himself as Marshal and renaming it to, Freetown. He had multiple run-ins with, Tusken Raiders, the Red Key Tusken Raiders, the Red Key Raiders, and, obviously he helps, the Mandalorian as well. And also in the books for Aftermath, which I have not read, I've not read the books, I've only kind of done like online reading. Apparently he also helps out an infant Hutt, which I think is interesting that, they're helping like the Hutts from, the Red Key Raiders, more or less. But he does get his armor from Jawas when he ends up, kind of lost and stranded in the desert. I believe that, the Jawas pick him up and he's like, what's that armor? We can barter for that. And he takes that armor and then, of course, he uses it to free the people of Mos Pelgo and, again, renaming it to Freetown. He definitely also, in terms of like character traits, he sees the good in people, obviously wants to slave, wants to free people, to allow people to do what they want. He tries to see the good in people and he uses the Mandalorian armor for good, which is, one of the things I think Din Djarin was confronted with. He's like, well, he's using Mandalorian armor for good and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. Cobb Vanth has also, lived on Tatooine his entire life. He does have a pod racer speeder as well. We get to see that in The Mandalorian, and I just think that's like a pretty cool, extra note. I think this character is also just like a really, really good job of just like fan service. Instead of creating a whole new character for the Mandalorian to kill the Krayt Dragon and whatnot and, interact and get Boba Fett's armor, they just directly took who had Boba Fett's armor from, the books Cobb Vanth, and, they just expand upon the character, actually got us to see what this character looks like instead of, creating a new character and, ruining continuity lines and whatnot. So I really appreciate that they did draw this character from the book. I'd really like to see this character expand more, and, in a book or a short story. Rangers of the New Republic seems to be like a good spot where Cobb Vanth could fit in, but definitely, doing fan service right. Like I said, we get to see him in The Mandalorian season 2 for one episode. I suspect we'll see him more, like I said, in Rangers of the New Republic or in The Mandalorian again. I could see him returning, or if he doesn't return, that's cool. But so he's in that, often in the Aftermath books. But I just think that this character has a lot of cool background. Again, with him being a slave from the Red Key Raiders, which I'll be doing a video about, pretty soon, I assume. But in that. Obviously has interactions with Din Djarin, which adds like an element of just like coolness to the character. I like that he kind of has like, this like gunslinger cowboy, but like for good vibe to him. But Cobb Vanth is definitely a character that I want to see expand upon. I like him in The Mandalorian. I have no problems with this character whatsoever. So he's a good character, and that's Cobb Vanth. But other than that, until next video, goodbye.